you called it, Jeff. He's fighting for his team, his players.
That's what he does. That's why they love him.
First free throw of the game for Dennis Schroeder. Brooklyn will inbound the ball with 38 seconds to play in the third quarter. Tyre Williams will trigger it in. Orlando's going to apply some full court pressure. Now they back off. Well, Black's going to put pressure on. Trying to keep it out of the hands of Schroeder. Nate Clowney.
Check, check. There we go. There we go. Let's check out the Bulls versus the Bucks. Yo, what's going on, Sterl? I just seen your message. Everybody need one more for that parlay to hit. I think everybody in the first half still are just going into the third, right?
Lots of points scored between these two teams. Short for Brook Lopez. 61-60. Shot clock still in play on this possession for the Bulls. 5-second differential. Levine looking to drop it off to Williams. It'll be Bulls basketball, but how about Giannis flying through the air to get this one?
Just relentless. You know, you see Patrick Williams turns his head, doesn't have any clue as to where Giannis is. Giannis with the full head of steam blows right by him, and easy pickings on the tip in.
Yes, sir.
Something like that. Kobe White catch and shoot.
Bro, the NFL is being really good to me right now. It's being really good to me right now. So going into halftime, The NBA is tripping right now. Going into halftime, Bucks is up 64-63. Philly and Toronto tonight. They down 3, 75-78. Who else we got? Brooklyn, Orlando, 81-71. They going into the fourth quarter. New York is up by 18. The Detroit Pistons. I don't even think we gotta talk about what they doing. What I really want to discuss and what's been bothering me. Steve Kerr is gonna be responsible for both of the teams that could end up in the NBA Finals this year. You know how ignorant that man is? One of his biggest things in the Olympics, all right, not playing Jason Tatum. Obviously, we knew that. He didn't play Jason Tatum because he said he couldn't find minutes for Jason Tatum, 40 minutes of game time, 10-man rotation. He couldn't find time for a first-team All-NBA performer, all right? And then you also I'm talking about Dallas and Boston, all right? You also let Klay Thompson walk to Dallas. All you had to do was pay that man for all the time he put in, all the work he put in, the championships. All you had to do was just pay him. Just pay him to stay. And I wonder if executives ever come together and be like, you know what? Let's just make sure he doesn't go to that team. Because when Dallas came together like they did with Kyrie and Luka, they was like, I mean, they not going to be good anyways. They can't play defense. They not going to guard nobody. They just going to take a bunch of isolation shots and da-da-da-da-da-da. Trade happens. They get Gafford. They get PJ Washington. All right. Now they start looking like a team. Then they make it all the way to the NBA Finals. Then you say, all right, what possibly else could we add to this team for them to get back? I said on my podcast, you either go after Paul George or Klay Thompson. They get Klay Thompson. Did anybody happen to see the game last night? You don't really pay attention to it. I mean, you think, all right, Klay Thompson, he getting older. He not going to be able to move like he used to, a little bit slower and stuff like that, losing a step, right? But then you remember that this man scored 60 points in an NBA game and only dribbled the ball 11 times. And that's the guy you add to Luka and Kyrie. You put PJ in one corner, put Kyrie in the other, Klay Thompson in the other corner. You got Kyrie and Luka up top on each wing. And you just run pick and roll with Gafford or Lively. There was a situation last night. Klay Thompson, they swung the ball off offensive rebound, I'm pretty sure it was, to Klay Thompson. And nobody ran to him. Nobody went to close out on Klay Thompson. And it was well over like 3 or 4 seconds to the point where he got the ball, relaxed his shoulders, he took a dribble, and then he shot the ball. Now, he played with Kevin Durant. He played with Steph Curry, Draymond. There was one point, DeMarcus Cousins on death lineup, Iggy, Autumn, right? I've never seen nobody run towards Klay Thompson. The reason why is in Golden State, everybody's staying home. You're not leaving anybody. This is new. This is completely new. You have a situation where your mind doesn't register like, all right, I mean, that's Klay Thompson, but I'm guarding Luka Doncic. So initially, I'm just going to stay here because that's what we've always done, not realizing that ain't Tim Hardaway Jr. over there. That's Klay freaking Thompson. So, I mean, it's going to be an adjustment period for defenses because, I mean, you're just not used to seeing that look from the Mavs. The way he was moving, the ball was popping around. He had them playing like it was Golden State out there. Joseph, what's good, man? What's good? Personally, unless Luka learned how to play any defense, I don't think they will ever make it back to the finals. Boston exposed how to beat them at playoffs and its attack, Luka. I agree with that to a certain point. To a certain point, only because everybody's going to attack Luka defensively. The problem is, I think offensively, with the way that Klay Thompson plays and the way they have to play with Klay Thompson in the lineup, you're not going to see Luka dribble the clock out for 20 seconds if you want this team to be successful. I think he's going to get off the ball more. He's going to be allowed to use less energy on defense. So I think that's going to play out. I think they do have to have one more defensive stopper added to their team. Hardy, he's good, but I don't think he's polished offensively enough. He doesn't knock down a decent percentage from three enough to be that missing piece. They need somebody like Bruce Brown, the same way Bruce Brown was for Denver. I think they need somebody like that to come off the bench, impact the game on both sides of the ball, be a terror. Offense will be great, no doubt, but this final shows defense matters, and Klay doesn't help you in that matter either. So where does the playoff defense come from? I mean, they made it to the finals because at the right time they started playing defense. They started locking in. So I will say, you know, to get them there, they played great defense last year. One thing I'm not willing to say is it's a guarantee they get back. I mean, I looked at the way OKC looked against Denver the other night. And Denver got issues of their own, but they still got arguably the best player in the world. They still got one of the best 5-man rosters in the world, lineups in the world. So, I mean, the fact that OKC went in there, homegrown, Chet put up, 25 and 13 or something like that against arguably the best player in the world. I take that. I picked OKC to get to the NBA Finals out of the West. So that's what I'm leaning towards. As far as Dallas, man, even just for the regular season, where in the Western Conference, seeding is everything. Seeding is everything out west. You cannot go into a situation where you go, you know, you lose a game and you drop from 5th to 6th, because that 6-3 matchup could be terrible for you. You can't go from 1 to a 2 because the 7th seed might be the LA Lakers. They might have your number and make it all the way to the conference finals. So, like, seeding is everything, and you let Klay Thompson walk to the conference champions from, I mean, Steve Kerr, man, as far as I'm concerned, Steve Kerr is public enemy number 1. He's got to be. The way, and I'm a Miami Heat fan. I hate the Celtics. The way Jason Tatum looked out the gate, man, listen, this is going to be an ongoing problem. This is going to be an ongoing problem for the rest of the season. And I got to look, when do they play Golden State? November 6th. So what? That's 3 weeks away? Wait a minute. No. Today's the 25th. All right, so that's a week and a half. That's not going to be good, man. And they're in Boston. That's not going to be good. I think Boston wins that game at least by 30. It's just one of those things, man. Because right now, they don't really have an identity themselves. I'm talking about Golden State. They don't really know who they are themselves. So for me to be confident in them going into Boston, the way they play at home, the way they shoot at home, the way Tatum, Brown, Horford, White, Holiday, without Porzingis, how they playing, it's asking a lot of stuff. This is not the same team that went to the NBA Finals and knocked them off. This is a different group, man. So that's gonna be tough. November 6th. I don't know if you're still in here, Sterling, but Big Sterl, man. I think we should look at FanDuel 30-point win. What? Man, I didn't play one of my. Oh dang! Don't you hate it when you have that perfect parlay set up and you forget to hit send. I always do that. It's gonna be tough, but like I said, I'm a Miami Heat fan. All right, so with that comes, all right, there's a lot of bias. There's a lot of Heat culture Kool-Aid involved. Okay, playoff Jimmy, that plays a part. All right, Eric Spoelstra plays a part in that biased opinion that Miami can knock off Boston. But you know, I like our chances. But Boston is tough, man. The reason Boston is so tough is because a lot of teams, when you look in the past, a lot of teams that take a lot of threes, they're normally terrible defensive teams, or they have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, KD, and Draymond. But outside of Boston and those prime Golden State Warriors teams, three-point shooting teams were pretty bad at defense. I mean, look at the Phoenix Suns. They never won a chip, but they was always, you know, top 5 in offense, top 5 in threes. You know, Q Rich, Jason Kidd, not Jason Kidd, Q Rich, Steve Nash, you know, Joe Johnson at one point. They had all these shooters on the team. I mean, okay, but you were never stopping anybody defensively. You openly admitted that on the chat, and you know the chat. You can see the comments on the screen. So you just announced that you a Hawks fan. That's tough. How do you feel about Trae Young? You think he gonna get traded? My prediction was he gets traded to the Lakers or the Timberwolves by the end of the season. Speaking of the Hawks, they up against Charlotte 82-75 right now. Let's look. Melo Ball, 24 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. We got 10 and 10 from Nick Richards. Nick Richards is going to be a good piece for them. He's going to be a great piece for them. He kind of has the same feel that I get from Jalen Duren for the Pistons. Double machine, 7-footer. Throw it to him and a drop-off pass. He can get a bucket. Right now, Trae Young, 22 points, 4 steals, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, but the boy got 6 turnovers. And that's the other problem with him is if he has the ball as much as he's going to now that DeJounte Murray is out of the picture, he's in New Orleans, he's going to turn over the ball a ton. If Trae wants to stay, he should stay. If he wants to go, he's earned the right. Okay. So I'm imagining that this is he's getting off for good behavior and time already spent, you know. So yeah. But look at their roster. I mean, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, Clint Capella, Dyson Daniels, Trae Young, Con Wu, Garrison Matthews. Not gonna attempt to pronounce this dude's name, but Veet. Then you got the rookie Zachary Razacher. I mean, what are you gonna get from him? Because this roster isn't built like a typical, like you have an idea on where you want to go with a rebuild. So I mean, you trade away Trae Young. Let's say he goes to Minnesota. I am absolutely asking for Rob Dillingham back. I need Rob Dillingham, another player, and maybe 2 draft picks, something like that. And I'll throw Trae Young and DeAndre Hunter in there. Send them packing. So I mean, Trae Young is gonna be a hot topic at trade deadline. All right, so we got Philly down by 10 in Toronto, down 13 now in Toronto. Orlando up 15 in Brooklyn. Orlando smacked Miami. Oh my goodness. It's like that Simpsons video where you just hear my man just getting punched in the face repeatedly, and they were like, he's dead. He's already dead. Yeah, that's what that looked like. See, he suffered with such bad teams for years. I don't think we're close to contenders right now. And yes, I don't think we're going to get much for him that will help us now. Like I said, I mean, Rob Dillingham, that's got to be, I mean, if I'm looking around the league, okay, I'm not, Chris Paul is in San Antonio. That was the ideal spot. Trae Young, Victor Wembanyama, so that's not there anymore. If they want to get involved with a 3-team deal with Milwaukee, we'll take Damian Lillard off Milwaukee's hands, send Trae over there. I don't know how that's going to work out, but Yeah, the only option on the table is Rob Dillingham from Minnesota, or you look at the Lakers and you get Bronny James. Everybody want to see Bronny do great. You put Bronny in a situation where he getting 25 minutes a night, got to develop quickly on the fly, sink or swim. I think that'd be good for Bronny. You know, y'all get another franchise player. It'll be great. Oh man, the home team, Detroit, down 11 to Cleveland. Let's see. Well, we actually can't even watch the game. Let's see what. Tim Hardaway Jr. was begging and pleading for an opportunity when they played Boston in the finals. Played pretty well the other night. 9 points right now, 3 or 4 from 3, 20 minutes. Cade Cunningham, 30 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. But the boy got 7 turnovers. Now, everybody was on Russell Westbrook's head for several years about, he just, getting all these numbers, all these assists, but he flipped the ball. Nobody flips the ball more than Trae Young, in my opinion. And from what I've seen, he actually led the league in turnovers one year when he led the league in assists as well. Cade Cunningham tonight, 7 turnovers. That's a lot, man. Obviously, 30 minutes on the court, 22 shot attempts. You're going to have the ball a lot. You got to take care of the ball. Especially, this is an opportunity. Cleveland is not like elite. I'm not going to say they elite. They're a decent team, but they can get got. They're a team they can get got at any point in time. Donovan Mitchell only got 19. Jared Allen, 15 and 9, 12 points for Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, he needs to be thinking young Kevin Garnett, Minnesota. Bronny not ready for that ATL life. Hey, man, look, like I said, sink or swim. You just throw him in there and see what happens. Dean Wade, 13 points. Darius Garland. Let me see. Is Max Strus injured? I did not know that. Caris LeVert, 4-7, 9 points. You get 11 out of Garland, 11 and 6. I want to see that backcourt break up. I want to see Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell break up. I like Terry Rozier, but I don't think he's a true PG. We need a true PG. Somebody that's going to forcibly throw the ball at Jimmy Butler and tell him to score. And I think we need that in Miami. So I would love to see Darius Garland, and then you bring Terry Rozier off the bench and say, all right, you score at will. Do whatever you want to do. I don't care. I think we can live with that because you also got Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez coming off the bench, Calo Ware, he's going to come along soon. I like that off the bench. I would like to see what Cade could do on a decent team. I live out here, all right, Southeast Michigan. We thought Cade would be the guy that makes Detroit the decent team. I like Jalen Duren as a piece. I like Jaden Ivey as a piece. Isaiah Stewart, I like him as a piece. They got some good young talent, but he hasn't been healthy. So I think if he's been healthy, you add in 2 vets in Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr. Both of those guys can shoot. Tobias Harris is so because, when you compare them to, let's say, Jimmy Butler, I'm not gonna pay Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler, but he's a good player. Every now and then he'll make the right play. He'll take open shots and knock them down. But this is the type of team that I say, all right, Detroit, can you at least be the 10th seed? Like right now, just the games tonight. All right, I think Brooklyn is gonna struggle. Charlotte is going to struggle. Atlanta, Chicago. That's 4 teams right there. And then Detroit would be the 5th team. So I would say Detroit should be thinking, all right, let's at least try to get to 9 or 10. If we can get to 9 or 10 playing decent basketball, let's say we can get between 35 to 40 wins. That's a big jump for them because I think they only won like 15 last year. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Because like I said, I like Cunningham and I like Ivy. That's a good backcourt. Ivy didn't get a lot of love from Monty Williams. Fun fact, Monty Williams, his son, Elijah, he played for the team that knocked us out of the out of the high school basketball tournament. He played for Brother Rice. They beat Utica High School. So, I mean, his son could hoop. They both went down to Texas, so that's one less problem we got to worry about. Memphis is up 67-65 in Houston. Let's see what they doing. Ja Wick is back. Ja Wick, he locked and loaded, ready to go. Freaking pensive. 17 points for Ja. Coming out of halftime, that's not bad. That's not bad. He's still getting to the swing things. One person I'm interested in seeing how he handles it, because everybody said Zach Edey should not have been a lottery pick, and I was really gunning for Zach Edey to end up at Miami. We needed a guy that's tall, can finish around the rim, knows how to play the game, possibly throw it to him every now and then in the post and let Bam roam a little bit. 3 for 7 tonight, 6 points, 7 rebounds. He got into foul trouble his first game. Six fouls fouled out, obviously. He has 1 foul tonight. He's got a block. He's got a steal. So he's being active. Desmond Bain, 6 for 8, 12 points. For Memphis, it's challenging because health. Really, it's going to come down to health because Brandon Clark, he had an injury. He's still trying to work his way back. Scottie Pippen Jr., he has 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists right now. He had a great summer. So I think he can be that backup PG when you pull John Morant off the floor. Defensively, they should be pretty good. I mean, Marcus Smart, John Morant, Desmond Bain, they can all guard their own positions. I think they need a little bit more on their bench, but I think they're probably leaning towards 7th seed, 8th seed, somewhere around there. If John Morant is playing at an MVP level, I'll say 5th seed, but they're not going to wow anybody this year because from where I'm sitting, I think Golden State is still better. I don't see them making any real noise. Golden State is still better. Phoenix, even without Kawhi, PG, Russell Westbrook being gone, I think the Clippers might be a little bit better than Memphis still because they got a lot of guys that can score the basketball, a lot of guys that can shoot the basketball, and they have defenders, guys that can play, two ways. So I think they're better. You got to deal with OKC, obviously, Minnesota. Houston is a tweener. Don't really know about them. A lot of question marks. Sacramento Kings, Dallas Mavericks. I think they're all better than Memphis. So they're probably looking at a play-in spot. But like I said, if John Morant's playing at a very high level, I think maybe 7th seed. at best. Who does Houston have? Because I seen their GM. Their GM earlier this year said that Houston was the deepest team in the league. I strongly disagree. But they got Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, Sinjin, Jalen Green, Van Fleet, Amin Thompson. Oh, that's who's missing for Detroit. His brother got hurt last year. I'm pretty sure he got hurt. Reed Shepherd was a high draft pick. I think it was 3rd overall. 6 points and 0s across the board. So I mean, he's only playing 6.5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, this team is not that deep. Surprising thing about Houston is the contract the Sinjin got and Jalen Green was both. They were both below the max they were qualified for. Let's see, could be deepest team with young talent. Could be. That might be a good point because, like I said, I mean, let me look. You got Jalen Green, Van Vliet, Sinjin. I would say, Jabari Smith. I think he was second draft pick. He was 2nd overall pick, and he's like their 4th option. Very talented. He's got 10 points, 2 blocks, 8 rebounds tonight. I mean, very gifted. And he can shoot. So, I mean, him being your 4th option. So, deep in young talent, yes. I'll give him that. But I was surprised that Jalen Green didn't get the max extension. Because normally you see teams that say, all right, we don't want this guy to go somewhere else, get paid somewhere else, and turn out to be the superstar we always wanted, the one we hoped he'd be. We want him to stay here. He got drafted here. But they didn't give him the contract that he was actually expected to get, and that's surprising. I think the same thing for St. John as well. All right, so Toronto 98-84 versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Orlando 103-88. We knew how that was going to go. Let's see how many minutes Ben Simmons played tonight. All right, Ben Simmons, 5 fouls tonight, 7 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. Played 23 minutes. Obviously because of foul trouble, but like I said, we are in that cycle still. We're still in that cycle. So any game now, we should see Ben Simmons out of the lineup for tonight. So I was talking about Big Stirro parlay. I ain't even check on mine yet. Because it was 2 years, I think Jalen is possibly thinking about not being in Houston long term. Possibly. Where would he go though? If you look at Jalen Green's game, okay, for me, the way he plays, I don't know if he chooses to go to like an elite team. All right, let's say he goes to a team that's trying to play for championships, win now situation. I don't know if he'd be a starter. Simply because of, like I said, his style of play, shoot first mentality. I mean, he's good, but I don't know if I would actually, put him in a situation where, all right, win now, playoff team, you're my starting shooting guard. All right, so I needed 3 threes from Zach LaVine. I needed 2 threes from OG Anunoby. Of course, Zach LaVine, he knocks down 8 threes the other night, and tonight the boy only takes 3 and he makes 1. Come on now, he's 7-9 right now, having a good game. That's not what we need from him. All right, we don't need layups, we need threes. All right, let's see what OG did. OG, don't let me down, bro. OG Anunoby, 1 for 4 from 3, and they blowing Indiana out, blowing them out. And one thing that I also got to say, all right, 18 and 13 for Cat, having a good night. 2 for 2 from 3. 20 from Jalen Brunson. Mikal Bridges, he's shooting better tonight. That hitch that's in his jump shot. Oh my God. Y'all got to stop letting these trainers change y'all jump shots, because that is not it. Stop letting them do that. But yeah, when you look at New York, they have good pieces, but I like them a lot better with a healthier Julius Randle, and I like them a lot better with DiVincenzo. Because look, say what you want about, you get Bridges so you can move DiVincenzo, he's expendable now, or you want to get Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not mad at the trade or anything like that. I think both teams broke even. I just think chemistry plays a big factor in performance. Chemistry plays such a big factor in performance. And you were telling me that you get all of the Villanova boys from those championship teams at Villanova back on the same team. You add in OG Anunoby, you add in Julius Randle, you have a potential to add in Mitchell Robinson back into the fold when he comes back. Miles McBride, Deuce McBride's shooting the daylights out, playing great basketball within the offense, knows his shots, can play deep. You had a team. And I think it's going to show up, in the postseason, because again, things slow down. You got to know who to go to. You got to know. You didn't have to ask those questions with Brunson, Bridges, Hart, and DiVincenzo on the court. Everybody knows the pecking order. Everybody already understood, all right, this is, going back how many years? 10 years plus, right? All right, this has been a pecking order. All right, Brunson, and then Bridges, and then DiVincenzo wide open threes, and then Josh Hart gets the scrap points. So it's like they had a decent, outlook for what was going to unfold the next couple years, man. I really think I don't think they regressed in terms of regular season. I think they're still going to be top 5 team in the East. But that postseason, when trust and chemistry and all those things come into play, I think they might suffer a little bit. I think they might suffer. And then speaking of Minnesota, didn't they beat Sacramento last night? Close game, I think it was like 108, 106. All right, so update: Philly 87, Toronto 101. I'm almost 100% positive this parlay ain't gonna hit. Parlay 1 is dead, and for whatever reason, don't know why this is a thing. But the Milwaukee Bucks are down 3 points to the Chicago Bulls, and this is why I say Damian Lillard is probably going to get traded. Not because first of all, Damian Lillard is my favorite player, but you can't have everybody constantly say, well, when Drew Holiday was here, well, this is what Drew did. Well, when Drew was here, we got championship and all this other stuff, and not naturally cause issues. Giannis has 30 points, 13 and 19 shooting, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and he's -8. Damian Lillard, 17 points, 6 assists, he's -4. Brook Lopez not shooting well. Gary Trent Jr., as season goes on, he's going to play a lot better. He's going to be a big part of that. For whatever reason, it makes no sense to me. But you always have those players in the league that keep getting on roster spots. We seen Charles Barkley play who he played for last night, and Garrett Temple is still in the league. I don't know how. But Taurean Prince, how is this man still in somebody's starting lineup? 9 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 3 tonight. But how is he still on somebody's roster? How does he always find his way onto somebody's team? And then how does he end up in the starting lineup? That he's got to know somebody in the higher ups of the league that makes sure he's on the roster. Troubling sign for Chicago. No Lonzo Ball. Did Chicago play last night? I don't think Chicago. I don't think they played last night, but I don't like the fact that it's already game 2 and Lonzo's not in the lineup. I don't like that. One of my favorite young players when he was healthy and started to find his rhythm in Chicago and New Orleans, he was one of the best young PGs in the league. People didn't want to admit it, but he was starting to find his way as a true PG in the league, and he was starting to find his shot. He shot 42% when he was healthy in Chicago. But like I said, Zach LaVine, 19. Nikola Vucevic, he's going to be a nice trade asset this summer for a championship contending team. I just got that feeling. If I'm a team looking to probably bolster their bench or shore up their front line, I'm looking at teams like New York, for example. Maybe the Knicks. Rebounds. We had more of these than they did. That's a classic. But Vucevic, I say the Knicks might have a target on him. They should have never let Hartenstein walk. Who else would be a nice trade piece? Yeah, that's about it. Patrick Williams, he was asking for max dollars. That is laughable. He was asking for max dollars, and he is 1 for 3 tonight. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, -1 in the box score, 3 points. And his matchup is Giannis. So he ain't scoring and he ain't playing no defense. Denver got a chance, or you think that window is closed? I do not think the window is closed. I think they'll make a move. The biggest issue is you lose Bruce Brown, all right? You lose Bruce Brown, and that takes away from your bench. Now you're down an asset, you're down energy, you're down effort, hustle plays, the dirty work, a defender, you're down that. And then you lose KCP out of starting lineup, and your other bench asset, Brown, you bring him into the starting lineup now. Russell Westbrook's getting older. Everybody's going to complain about Russ and all this other stuff. There's point guards all over the league that flip the ball consistently and make ridiculous plays. But I know when we get to the playoffs, we need Russell Westbrook. People can deny it all they want to. but I seen what he did when he was playing for the Clippers versus the Suns. I seen what he did when he was with the Lakers, and they got situations where they needed to win games. Russell Westbrook, first of all, was the one that was always available, and he was always doing whatever needed to win. And people don't realize this, like to ignore it because it's Russ. But since he got drafted, Russell Westbrook has actually been the most clutch player in the league. A lot of people don't know that. So when I look at Denver, I say, you know, what do you need? I need a backup big that's going to come in and give me a lot of production. All right. DeAndre Jordan, he's older. He's not the same DJ, and he's not going to give you the same minutes that you need to back up Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic. There's a ton of Nicolas in the league, but you know what I'm saying. He's not going to give you the type of minutes that you need, the production that you need off of the bench. The same way you have Embiid in Philly, when he sits down, you bring in Andre Drummond, who's statistically one of the greatest rebounders ever. You don't have that. So you need somebody that's going to bolster your bench. You need a big off the bench. You need a wing off the bench. And I would say maybe a shooter. But I think those three things need to get addressed. I'd say within the next month or so, month or two, they need to address that. Denver is still a top 4 team in the West, loaded West, but you still have arguably the best player in the world. Jamal Murray needs to be a lot more efficient, and MPJ, he needs to be committed defensively, because you can't leave it all up to, dang, Chicago up 9 versus Milwaukee. I took them for the spread. That's crazy. All right, so Milwaukee, you're down 9. I needed you to win by 6. Right out of the gate, Keontae George, Utah Jazz versus Golden State. I needed 2 threes from him. He got those within the first 4 minutes. Keontae George off to the crazy start. I needed 10 points from Buddy Hield. Let's see if Jared Allen got that double-double, because they're up by 16 versus Detroit, so I don't imagine him playing too many more minutes tonight. And we got the double-double, 17 points and 10 rebounds from Jared Allen. So that's one down. We took the Knicks money line. So we still need Chicago to get their act together, continue to be a bad team. We need the Bulls to be a bad team again. And then we need the Pelicans to come through. Man, this is crazy. Tough. But yeah, I like Denver still to be a top 4 team in the West. They just not they're not a championship team. I'll say that. Who else? We haven't talked about Atlanta and Charlotte in a minute. You want to talk about how your Hawks look right now? Charlotte closed the gap, 102-104. Mm. 105-108. See, Melo is cooking to start the year. Oh my gosh, 34 points. But like I said, he is flipping the ball. 9 turnovers. Like I don't think people understand that though. Like the way the ball is turned over from your point guards nowadays, it's like I wouldn't think of that from Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, Chris Paul. Like they wasn't flipping the ball like that. At least when we was growing up, they was take care of the basketball. They'd have like 12 assists, 13 assists, 14 assists, and 2 turnovers. I mean, if Chris Paul at one point in his career, if he had 3 turnovers, we was like, yo, he in a slump. Now dudes is pumping out darn near quadruple doubles on the turnovers, and we just don't even bat an eye at it. You still 32 points, 10 assists from Trae Young. So he's, like I said this in another video, he's going to look like he looked before they got DeJounte Murray. So that this is to be expected. What's not to be expected is DeAndre Hunter finally stepping up. So it looks like Bogey is out injured. Let's see. He played the other night. Bogdanovich is out Friday's game versus the Hornets due to a right hamstring tendinopathy. Basically, he strained his hamstring. I don't know why they can just say that, but that's a quick exit for him. He had a really good Olympics run. I like the way he played for his team, for Team Serbia. Played well, but I mean, that's another dude you look at and say, could he be moved? Could he be traded? Is he an asset somewhere else? But yeah, this you know, back to what this all started out as Golden State, they start their game versus the Utah Jazz. They're down 15-6 right now, early in the first quarter. What is Steve Kerr? What is he doing? I'm very confused. Why is Kevon Looney not starting? Who is Tracy Jackson Davis? He provides nothing. He provides nothing. So I mean, how do you make that decision? I know everybody's been talking about it. Everybody's been harping on it. How do you come to that conclusion? And you say, all right, you know, we needed defense, so we played Derek White over Jason Tatum. Tell Jason Tatum, boy, you 26, 27 years old, and you one of the top players in the NBA, one of the best at your position, first team all NBA. You better lock in and play some defense. Stop worrying about getting your shot off. Play some defense. You 6'9", 6'10". You want to get on the court, you lock somebody up. See if he get the message. I mean, see if he get the message. But now you in a situation, you got him mad. All right. Now the Eastern Conference got to deal with that issue. You lose Klay Thompson for whatever reason. You probably got tired of Draymond yelling and cussing and hitting and punching everybody. So you know what? He leaves. He goes to Dallas. Now you got the Western Conference having to deal with that. On top of the fact that, you know what? If it wasn't for Mark Jackson, you would have 0 rings in Golden State. So really, that's an alley-oop from Mark Jackson. Shout out to Mark Jackson. I think he deserves to be a coach again in the league. I think he was blackballed. He didn't deserve it. But you know how it goes sometimes. When when somebody puts that bug in your ear about, hey, you know, he was a bad apple here, he's going to be a bad apple there, so don't hire him. All right. But I just hate so many things about Steve Kerr, man. It's just, it don't make sense. It don't make sense at times how he's continued to be viewed as one of the best coaches in the league. I hope he doesn't come back for Team USA. That spot should be reserved for Eric Spoelstra. I'm about to wrap up here in a little bit. I do just want to check in and see what's going on with the Bucks. What is going on with the Bucks? End of the third quarter down by 7. That should not be the case. What the heck? That's tough sledding, man. I thought I had a for sure hitter. I could have swore I had a for sure hitter tonight. So we just waiting on Pelicans and Bucks and Buddy Hield to get into the game. That's all we need tonight. We need the Pelicans to get a dub. They play Portland. That's inevitable. Buddy Hield came out on fire the other night. 22 points off the bench for Golden State. So I expect him to get his. Chicago Bulls, man. Y'all are some bums. Giannis playing great. Giannis 14 to 20, 32 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He do need to crash the boards a little bit more. I say that. How are they losing? Dame is not turning the ball over. He's not shooting bad. 8 to 14 from the field. Gary Trent, he got 2 for 4 from 3. He's shooting okay. Brook Lopez, I mean, I would imagine what's the disparity on the boards? 38 to 39 on the boards. I mean, let's look at the threes. 2, 1, 4, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1. I mean, it's not a big disparity in 3-pointers. I mean, it's 11 to 16. So that might be causing some issues, but I don't think it's a reason why Milwaukee should be down. Normally, they're known as a defensive-minded team. I mean, Gary Trent can guard his own. Brook, Giannis, Taurean Prince is out there. Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis is an underrated pick for double-doubles. Anybody that like to spend a little money on FanDuel and all that. Speaking of the things that I need, Buddy Hield, fresh off the bench, 3 points. We need 7 more from him. Let's see what Milwaukee gonna do. Let's check in with them, because this is diabolical. This is diabolical work. All right, so 101, 102. They on a little bit of a run. I got a feeling somebody gonna get a wide open shot. Oh, that's the problem. See, normally in Chicago, okay, the ball sticks a lot. Not a lot of ball movement. Not a lot of player movement, ball movement. They just went through 2 or 3 different actions and then attack down low, got a kick out, wide open 3. So that's the difference right now. But it looked like Giannis about to take over. He'll get my bread for me. Philly, 105, 111. They coming back. Yeah, but they'll be all right. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's one more for the good guys. Blame